to date since that semi-final game where India took the lead in the second half, but that was neutralized after a bit of a delay by Sumitra Bhandari and then going on to win in the penalties. We start fresh, we start again. And Sangeeta Basfor has got the armband for this fixture, and her counterpart, Sumitra Bhandari. And these two have faced off each other multiple times. Refereeing contingent will be led by Pansa Chaismith of Thailand. Has got the support of Choki Om, Sherin Chodhan and Sherin Funso. It's not just going to be about the tackles and goals. It's going to be about pride, passion, aggression and ambition. India on their quest to build that squad for Australia 2026. Slotted in a few new faces for the second game. And Rija, Linda Chanu and Julian have been slotted in. They start this fixture on the bench. Mosmi Murmu and Rimpa Haldar have been given an opportunity in the starting 11. And Karishma and Pyari Khakha have been benched for this fixture. I'm sure they will be involved at some stage in this contest. For Nepal, Hira Kumari and Anjila Subba start this fixture on the bench. Deepa Shahi and Anjana Rana find themselves a spot in the starting 11. So changes on both sides. Krismin Chetri advocating a large pool of players for the upcoming AFC Asian Cup in Australia. And off we go with the ref's whistle. You can't miss the side of these players in their bright jerseys. India in their all blue. Nepal in their all red. India going from left to right on your screens. And both the sides were completely outdone by Iran. And the physical side they bring to their contest. And Crispin did mention now they know how to play the sides with the physical attribute to their game. And it's going to be a different challenge, and both the coaches are absolutely wary of the fact that what is at stake here. And that midfield would hold absolute key for both the set of players. Sumitra Bhandari factor would be absolutely critical. She scored 7 times against India. Nice to see Deepa Shahi back on pitch. Did play a couple of minutes in the last game. Here's Preeti Rai. Goes sideways. A long ball pushed forward towards Sumitra Bhandari. Sumitra strikes! And Sumitra! Was there ever a doubt? Sumitra Bhandari. That was lightning quick. The sound of the whistle barely faded, and the net's already shaking. A long ball forward over that back line, and the famous number 9 for Nepal. They are up and running. What a start to this contest. India have got a job on their hands now. I'll tell you what, it will be nerves jangling. Drangme, Nirmala. That was a brilliant move. Was quick to spot And Sabitra Bhandari there. And played a long ball over that back line, and that was a brilliant finish, giving no chance whatsoever. And Sabitra. Another long ball. There was no presence of a red shirt there. Here's Dangme Grace, the most experienced player out there on the pitch. Here's Rekha. Swift movement. Here's Linda Combe. Linda all by herself. Rimpa. Couldn't quite go in. 8th goal versus India. She scored for the first time back in 2017. And since then, hasn't missed out an opportunity. Will have to stay in the contest, India. '67th goal in her 62nd appearance for Nepal, Sabitra Bhandari. And she's away here. It's got a lot of space ahead of her. India backtracking. Sabitra Bhandari shifts the play. Wanted to get Rekha Paudel on the ball. It's Linda. Bang me, beg your pardon. And at the moment, it's all about keeping hold of the ball is absolute key for India. Martina. And Crispin did mention about trying to build out from the back, maintaining that possession and then progressing it through the midfield. And brings it down to safety. It's good. Ranjana Chanu, Shilki Devi, Nirmala Devi, Martina Dangme, Sangeeta and Ratan Bala in the midfield. Rimpa, Linda Combe and Moshmi Murmu. The front three for India. Another long ball in Sabitra. Felt for a moment she was definitely in with another shout there. Going sideways, here's Ratnabala Devi trying to pick out a pass. And as well to keep the possession there. Couldn't quite in the end. Missing the experience of the likes of Fashalata and Sweetie Devi. And having said that, presents a massive opportunity for a lot of young talented players in the blue jerseys. And Nepal, of course, without the services of Geeta Rana for this tournament, has been nursing a shoulder injury and had to undergo a surgery. She will be out for a few months before she makes a comeback. It's Ratan Bala and strikes. I'm not quite sure if the intent was to go for the target or try and get Moshmi Murmu was making that run from the far side involved. Half yard there and was ready to unleash that. Giving the ball wings this time. And takes it down. Deepa Shahi. Deepa Shahi and Preeti Rai in the center of the pitch would be absolutely critical from Nepal's perspective. The ball control they provide, the distribution, the weight on the passing is sublime from these two girls. And twisting and turning. This Nirmala. Rimpa gets dispossessed. Renuka. Bimla. And Pooja Rana decides to go all the way back to Anjana. Savita. Again, the first touch letting her down. Has to hustle and taken away by Rekha. Rekha marching forward. It goes down on the ground. Is outnumbered in that corner. 9 minutes into the first half. We have a goal already. And that was scored by Samitra Bhandari in the second minute. India yet to make attacking moves. Haven't seen a shot on target. Linda does well to get the possession back. He couldn't quite hold on to it. Samiksha for Ranjana Rana, who played her part in that semi-final victory against India in 2024. Nirmala tries to pick out a pass there. It's intervened by red shirt. Here's Rekha. Desperate to win the second ball here, Nepal. And that is something we haven't seen from India. This is much better from Sangeeta. Rangme Grace goes down on the ground that time. A gentle shove. These two sides have met 18 times before, 11 to India and 2 to Nepal, and 5 games ending in draws. In the recent times, last 4 outings, Nepal have managed to get those 2 results in their favor and drawn 2 games in 2023. And those defeats would really haunt India and 2 semi-final losses. There's Preeti. And Pooja gets it back to safety again. They haven't trouble at all in the back 4 of Nepal up until this point. It's still early days in the contest. India have got a pretty strong bench. And Pyari still sitting out there. More than the results is the fact that they are giving a lot of game time to the young talent. And like I said, it's a quest for a build-up for the future. A slightly better weighted ball in that occasion would have made things a little interesting. And Jana Rana Magar getting an opportunity to start. She did play the last 20 minutes. And start all the fixtures in the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers. Pretty unfortunate, losing out to Uzbekistan in the penalties. Mightily close. That's a brilliant ball. A deft touch by Samitra Bhandari to let Rekha Paudel on his way through. Martina to the rescue for India. They are predetermined for this one, Nepal. Almost sense it from their body language. That hunger. Ranked higher in the FIFA standings at the moment. India 63, Nepal on 89. She had the option there towards her right. I'm not quite sure what the intent was on that occasion. Linda Combe was asking for it. It's going to be all about decision making in the end. You have to try and pick out the right pass. And Shilki. Ranjana gets a decent flick on that one. It's a mixed shot. Bimla, beg your pardon. This knocks it out of the play. And they have to keep doing that. Try and put some sort of pressure on that back line. Here's Linda. Just outside the box. And toe pokes it towards Ratan Bala, who lets it fly! Nanjana Rana was put to scale for the first time this evening. Something to cheer for India in this first quarter. That was a very good effort. All started from Linda Combe. Hustling away from those red shirts and whiting ball. That was brilliantly struck. Ratan Bala Devi. In corner, India. It floats it towards Dangmei Grace. And Dangmei unleashes, but gets the shot blocked. There you have it. He's going in for all money. And Preeti launches one in the air again. Good first touch. There's Rimpa. And again, guilty of giving the ball away. Rimpa Haldar Preeti. And not on the same wavelength. Sabita Rana. They've started to win the ball back in the last couple of minutes, India. Much better signs. They've settled in the game really nicely now. And that should be a decent opportunity to put the goalkeeper under pressure. Gives himself a free kick. And the kind of strike she pulled out a couple of minutes back, Ratan Bala Devi will be the firm favourite to stand behind this one. And Sangeeta. Ratan Bala, how will it be? And leaves it for Ratan Bala, who strikes. Decent effort. Goalkeeper didn't have to move. A couple of blue shirts were lurking in for a follow-up there. And again, winning the ball back. They've got better at that. And goes side of the wall and well held in the end by the goalkeeper. There's Nirmala. Ratan Bala. He has dispossessed. Here's Martina. Ranjana. Under pressure from Samitra. Linda dropping deep. A long ball towards Rimpa Haldar. Is Rimpa one-on-one. And too strong there. Samiksha this time. It's been a good contest between those two, Samiksha and Rimpa. Samiksha at the moment is winning that battle. And still a long time to go in this fixture. Feeling for her right knee there. Samiksha. And the ref points towards the bench. Corner. And dealt with quite easily. Here's Rimpa. And again, more of a hope than conviction behind that one from Ranjana Chanu. And still have gone pretty direct so far. And haven't seen the fullbacks trying to stretch out that back line. And trying to add a bit of width to the attack. And Crispin did mention about not having to go with long balls. It's going to be built up from the back and then controlled transitions and through the midfield and better progressions and avoid any mistakes. Another long ball from Anjana. It's Preeti Rai. And Sabitra is dropping in deep. And haven't created enough after that opening goal, Nepal. And the change straight away, I believe. And we'll get that confirmation of that change. Well, Pyari Khakha has been involved inside half of the first half. Is Martina. And the first stretch straight away for Pyari Khakha. The IWL champions with Orisha FC. And one of the experienced pros in this India setup. And 37 caps and 18 goals to Pyari Khakha in her career so far. Here's Linda. And taken away by Renuka. China was a bit under pressure. Pantoi Chanu launches that one in the air. This could be dangerous. Yes, Preeti Rai on the ball. Preeti Rai strikes. Couldn't quite keep it on target. And they'll have to get that communication going. Goalkeeper and the back line. Here's Deepa. Back after 1 year. Brilliantly done from Preeti Rai. Here's Sabitra Bhandari. Gets the short block. Here's India now. Trying to break out on the counter. Tammy Grace. Couldn't quite keep it in. Seems pretty animated on the touchline there, Crispin Chetri. Hasn't been the kind of starts India would have wanted. And still time for a comeback. A lot of time, in fact, considered early. It looks like Sabitra Bhandari has been cautioned. And again, getting dispossessed there is Renuka and Preeti. It's Pooja for Sabita. Deepa Shah has made that run down that right channel and floated in towards Sabitra. Rekha Paril couldn't quite get there. And there you have it. Looks like it was more for the after-say. The ref taking a note of that and booking Sabitra Bhandari. Spiari. Have been held in their stride so far, India. Nothing tangible has come except that one proper strike towards the target. Here's Spiari Khacha. Just goes down on the ground, Dang make race there. And reluctantly back on her feet. And there you have a look at it. Not quite sure if there was enough contact there. And Sabita, Renuka. And Preeti right. There's a lot of space ahead in front. I'm trying to pick out a pass there. It's well read by Panthoi Chanu. I still haven't seen that sort of fluidity from the midfield as far as India goes. And haven't created enough so far. All that could change with Pyari Khacha out there in the middle. Throw in for Nepal. Those of you who are joining us for the very first time, this is the last fixture of the Tri-Nation tournament between India, Nepal and Iran. Iran have been crowned the champions with 2 victories in 2 games. And this one, the last fixture, both the sides fighting it out. It's Pyari and Ratan Bala and spots that open spaces towards the left. Moshmi Murmu couldn't quite get to the end of it. It's a heavy ball down that left channel. 28 minutes almost into the contest and 1-0 to Nepal. A flick on from the middle of the pitch. Here's Sabitra Bhandari one-on-one with Shilki Devi down the far right. has got a red shirt waiting in Rekha Power inside the box. And tries to curl one towards Deepa Shahi. And ends up finding a blue shirt. Yes, Pyari. Lets it run towards Ratan Bala for a return ball. And Manmaya, starting this fixture, just knocks it out. Not allowing Pyari to turn there. They've been good defensively so far, Nepal. Except that one shot allowed towards the goal. They've managed to successfully held India in their strikes. Sangeeta again going sideways. Nirmala stepping up, plays it down the line, taken away. And that is something they'll have to try and get better at for the rest of the game. Here's Preeti just knocking it back. Gets dispossessed. Here's Linda Com, who dropped in deep. He collects that one. Has got an option towards the left and right. Moshmi. A couple of blue shirts arriving inside the box. Pyari was... that was over her head, but was flagged offside on that occasion. There you have it. That flag was up straight away. The flag was more so on Moshmi Murmu, I believe. Half hour has been ticked off here in Nepal. It's a slender lead. They have the advantage. India would want to quash any anxieties going into that half-time break. They need a repost here. There's Linda. Pyari. Ratan Bala wins the ball and hurls it towards Nirmala. Scans up for options, goes airborne. And draws in a clearance. Linda had little to no time on that occasion. Gets dispossessed. Here's Deepa Shai trying to pick out a pass again. India trying to calm things down. And again, that long ball unleashes Pyari Khacha. I was riding on the shoulders of Bimla Devi on that occasion. And prods it forward. Here's Preeti. Gentle touch towards Sabitra Bhandari, who gets dispossessed by Ratan Bala. Here's Shilki Devi. Sideways towards Sangeeta, who again gets dispossessed, and Sabitra was flagged offside. And first Nepalese player to play and score in top-tier European League, Sabitra Bhandari. And first ever South Asian player to score a hat-trick in top-tier European League. Which is not new to this very ground. And scored twice back in 2016 in the same fixture against Sri Lanka. This is much better from India. Dangme Grace has got help on the other side, squares it up nicely. And a follow-up coming in from Sangeeta Basfor. That was a brilliant move from India. It had everything in it except the finish. And that should have been kept on target. One decent ball, and the back line was carved out by the Indian midfield. Pyari. And she's got herself a free kick here. And just got her right leg on her way through there. Crispin Chetri throwing in the words, throwing in instructions. And Nabin Yupani on the other side, 1 month old into this new job. And has to go up. It was a red shirt that got the ball in the end. As Ranjana retrieves that. And gets dispossessed. Luckily a blue shirt finds it and hurls it all the way back towards Panthoi Chanu. And Preeti Rai. And 21 caps, 22 rather, for Preeti Rai. 5 goals for her. And played for Kickstart FC here in India. Known for her ball control. That's a delightful ball again over the top by Preeti Rai. Sabitra Bhandari strikes, and that's a brilliant tackle. Shilki Devi, absolutely top-notch stuff from her. And that was definitely goal-bound. And again, those two combining. Deepa Shahi on the corner. 10 minutes to play in the first half, plus the stoppages. Deepa targets the back post. And the blue shirt gets it away. Here's Ranjana. Does well to keep the ball in and rolls it down the carpet. Here's Ratan Bala. And flies that in the air. Rekha. And still Preeti. 2v1 in the center. Moshmi. And trying to get the ball into those open spaces down the left channel. And Bimla has had a fantastic game so far. Bimla and Samiksha. And they've partnered each other really well. And Shilki. And hurried clearance, and that's going to be a corner for India. An opportunity to put some sort of pressure on that back line and the goalkeeper. There have been 2 clear-cut chances created by India in the first half. And testing out the goalkeeper once, and second, not being clinical enough. Here's Ratan Bala, keeps it short. Here's Linda. And again, that written ball to Ratan Bala never arrived. Nicked off the ball there. And Linda Com. And 2v1 in that corner. And Sabitra Bhandari gets it back. Sangeeta trying to stop her down. Deepa Shai has made that run. Doesn't have help towards the other side. Knocks the ball into those open spaces. Rekha Paudel nearly. Zara Frisch in the end did her best to fly herself back into the penalty area there. And that's what happens when you provide that half yard to somebody like Sabitra Bhandari, who's going to be on it in a flash. Here's Pyari. Again, outnumbered, giving the ball away. Rekha for Preeti. Toe pokes it towards Sabitra. He's got an option towards the right in Sabita. Threads it through again towards Sabitra. Mosmi wins it back. Here's Linda Com. Slotted in wide towards the left. Back with Mosmi. Has got Pyari in front. Knocks it back towards Ratan Bala, who flies one towards Dangmei Grace, who had made that run down the right corner. Rekha. Sabitra. And still Sabitra. And the angle was always taking it wide of the target. He was forced to go wide there. And given away the possession far too cheaply there. Still got about 6 minutes left in the first half. And India need a response. Desperate defending there, making sure the ball is knocked out. We've got two red shirts waiting inside the box for those crosses. And Sabitra Bhandari, Rekha Pauril, the two experienced campaigners for Nepal. There's been 12 goals in 20-odd appearances for Rekha Pauril as well. And most of these players are no alien to the conditions. Has been heavily involved with the IWL. The likes of Sabitra Bhandari, who's won 3 championships, once with Setu and twice with Gokulam Kerala. Rekha, of course, was involved with Sports Odisha. Here's Sabitra, lays it off. Deepa Shahi couldn't quite strike it clean. Good defensive work there, but the flag had gone up anyways. Wouldn't have counted. Had to carve it. And coming out of that chaos, Nirmala launches that one towards Linda Com. Hasn't had enough of service, Linda Com. There's Pyari. Again, loses out on possession. Rekha Pauril. Thumps one down the ground. Preeti was anticipating the run coming in from Sabita Rana, which wasn't there to be seen. Martina gives it straight back to a red shirt. Here's Renuka, Rekha still giving it a chase. Nirmala. Shepherds that one really nice. 2 minutes and a thick bit left in the first half. Ratan Bala. Deepa. It's a brilliant first touch. Sabitra Bhandari. That's a brilliant save. Panthoi Chanu might have just kept India in the contest. What a delightful ball that was from Deepa Shahi. And that's what she brings to the table. Sabitra Bhandari, a delightful first touch, and it was all about Panthoi in the end. Taken away by Pyari Khakha. It's Linda. He couldn't quite get hold of it. Joe pokes it towards Tang Mei Grace. The shot comes in. Oh my word! Panthoi was absolutely alert to it. Sabitra, she stayed onside there. She knew it even before the flag and the whistle had gone in. Moshmi against Pooja Rana. Here comes Dang Mei Grace with a cross. And comfortably held in the end. They've come close, India, not close enough. And leaves it for Panthoi Chanu. And comes out of her spot and grabs that one in the end. Still got a few seconds left in the first half, plus the injury time to follow. And this game is truly living up to its expectations. Manmaya. Preeti. Still Preeti brings it down. Ratanbala takes it away. There's Shilki Devi looking up for options. Doesn't find one. Has to go sideways. Just 1 minute has been added on as the stoppages. There's been hardly to any stoppages in the first 45 minutes. A flick on. Unfortunate for her, it went straight through to Panthoi Chanu and didn't land in front of Samitra Bhandari. Linda out-muscled by Renuka there. Sabita. Deepa Shahi back towards Sabita. Holds on to her stance is Renuka. The first touch letting her down. And Sangeeta again gives it away. And Pyari again driving forward with Linda towards her right and held back. So that's the end of first set of 45, says the ref. And what an entertaining first half it has been. Who else but Sabitra Bhandari striking the first blow inside 2 minutes. And they had their fair share of chances towards the back end of the first half, but India did manage to get one clean strike towards the target, making the goalkeeper work. And that was a brilliant save from Anjana Rana to keep out Ratanbala Devi. And other than on that equalizer in the first set of 45. And it's going to be an enthralling second half. For all the viewers who are tuning in, this is a Tri-Nation tournament involving India, Iran and Nepal. Iran have been crowned the champions after winning 2 consecutive games. First beating India 2-0 and then overpowering Nepal 3-0. An opportunity for both the sides to rebound from their last defeats. And we go again for the second half of this fixture. India going from right to left on your screens. It's going to be very important for the girls in blue to start off on a positive note here. They've picked up on the intensity as the game has progressed. Sabita, unfortunately, the ball sticks on her side and she's away here. Here's Sabita, who looks to cross and cuts it back to change his footing. That has just allowed enough time for the defense to knock it away. And Pyari is brought in as a substitute at about 20th minute mark. Sabita again. Sabitra. Heavy first touch allows Ratnabala Devi with the clearance. Preeti picks out Rekha Paurel. Just knocks it forward from a weird angle. And Panthoi Chanu made a very good save right towards the end of the first half. Sabitra Bhandari was definitely in with a shout there. Lateral ball from Deepa Shahi to find her. It's a good preparation for the next year's AFC Champions Cup for India. Testing out a few players, giving opportunities to a lot of youngsters. This was the moment, and that is what separates these two teams at the moment. It was a brilliant ball to spot the run. And the finish was absolutely marvelous. Ranjana gets dispossessed. Sabita for Sabitra. They will have the ball here, Nepal. She's enjoyed the first couple of minutes here. Sabita Rana. Seen a lot of it. And again, is chipping it over that defense to find the number 9. Pooja. Back with Pooja again, who hoists that one in the air. Sangeeta with the clearance. They'll get it out surely this time. Dangme. Moshmi. Sangeeta Basfor. Ratnabala. Looking up for options. Going lateral again towards Nirmala. Chips one forward towards Linda Com. Nepal ball. They will be in Indonesia in the last week of November. Nepal will be competing in the Tri-Nation tournament involving the host Indonesia, Nepal, and Chinese Taipei. We'll play on 26th November and the 3rd of December. And Pyari has swapped out position with Linda Com with the start of the second half here. Linda, who started from the left, has slotted towards the right. Manmaya trying for a flick on there, expecting the arrival of Deepa Shahi. Savitra Bhandari. India gets the ball. Can they try and bring it forward? Again, lacking a bit of fluency in terms of the transitions. Haven't seen that proper link up. Still trying to get the likes of Linda and Preeti into those sort of spaces from where they can affect the game. Ranjana Chanu, one of the most experienced defenders currently with the squad. 44 caps for her. Martina finds Nirmala. And again, dabs it forward. Gets dispossessed Deepa. India win the ball back. Nirmala again. Fired away by Linda towards Pyari. Here's Dangme Grace. Gets into those open spaces. Here's Moshmi. Lets it fly with the left. I'm not quite sure if going for the target was the right option there. And Pyari was open. Was unmarked, which she was calling for it. Moshmi had other ideas. In the end, it all comes down to decision making. And she's had a good game. Anjana Rana. There's a blinder of a save to deny Ratan Bala. And goes airborne. There's Rekha. It looked like for a moment she was in with the chance there. Doing dangerously with those long balls, India. One ball over the defense has been the problem. It's a delightful ball to carve out that back line. Yes, Abita with a cross towards the back post. Moshmi brings it out of danger. It's Dangme Grace. Moshmi. That long ball was the downfall in the first half when they conceded. There's been a bit of a problem in this fixture. Haven't been able to deal with the way they would have liked. And this time opening that right flank. And she's had quite a bit of second half. Sabita has been driving forward at will and finding herself into right side of spaces. And they'll have to keep themselves on the ball here, India. Nepal are pretty swift with their counter-attacks. It's Linda Com against Pooja Rana. Shielding the ball here, outnumbered on that occasion. Still Linda. Preeti Rai, a swift touch and a turn. And lets it fly forward. Here's Sabita Bandrari giving it a chase. That was well read by the goalkeeper. And that's the point I was trying to make a short while back on the counter. Just one pickup, one pass, and the number 9 is definitely in. And back with Renuka through Pooja. Again, a bit sloppy there from Ranjana Chanu. His Sabita takes a touch. Couldn't quite hold on to it. Brings it down. Nirmala gets it back to safety. And Preeti Rai plays it down the line towards Sabitra. There's Rekha now into the act, one-on-one with Nirmala down the left side. Haven't been able to come out of their strides as yet, India, in the second half. Still got the likes of Karishma sitting out on the bench. Still need that midfield to try and get as fluid as they can and get Pyari and Linda on the ball, which we haven't seen enough. Here's Preeti. He's been instrumental in their build-up. He finds Sabita once again. Sabita against Ranjana and does well. Here's Linda. Dangme goes for it and couldn't quite win the ball back. Here's Preeti Rai. Doesn't have an option to turn. Here's Pooja for the support. Back with Preeti. And still Preeti. And taken away momentarily, but won back by Nepal straight away. And that is something they've done so well. Here's Manmaya. And Sabitra drops in deep to try and create. Does one with a chip towards Deepa Shahi. And Preeti on the ball once again against Ratan Bala. Preeti with the outside of her right foot. Couldn't quite penetrate through. Here's Moshmi now. Again, that first touch. Here's Rekha. Sabitra is making that run inside the box. Across towards Sabitra, takes it down, leaves it for Deepa Shahi, who couldn't quite catch it clean. Another brilliant move from Nepal, but Deepa Shahi at the moment has hit the turf and the ref has straight away pointed towards the bench. Another substitute for India. Moshmi is going to come out. And Karishma will get her opportunity. Nabeen Nyopane would be delighted with the kind of position his side is in at the moment. Still got 30 minutes to go. And they would definitely be looking to score a couple more and try and take this game far and far away from India's reach. Yes, Karishma with her first involvement. Karishma, Linda and Pyari. And the kind of 11 India would have otherwise expected to start off with. It's Preeti. It's Renuka. Renuka, Preeti, Deepa. They have run that midfield, commanded the ball. They controlled it beautifully. Outside of the right foot again, Sabitra Bhandari trying to get Rekha Powder involved. Is Renuka. Back with Preeti, who looks up. Deepa. A lot of space ahead for Sabita. Has got an overlapping run coming in from Pooja. Now Sabita overlaps. The ball from Deepa Shahi doesn't arrive. Sangeeta gets intercepted. Back with Preeti again. Here's Deepa Shahi to Preeti. Has got an option towards the left. Draws in a tackle there. And that is going to be a free kick in favor of Nepal for that challenge coming on. Preeti from Sangeeta Basfor. Not quite sure if she got the ball in that occasion. Flung straight into Preeti Rai and is in need of some assistance. The Santosh Malti Munda, Lisham Bibina Devi, Kiran Pista, and Lunda Chanu sitting out on the bench. We added 3 players to the squad for this second fixture. India. Julan coming in from the under-17. Captain that side, plays in the midfield. Have decided to qualify for the Asian Cup earlier this month. We'll have to wait and see if Crispin Chetri sticks towards giving some game time to all the junior players involved. Here's Savitra. The strikes! And Savitra! The net quivers in delight for the second time this evening. What a strike that is! Savitra Bhandari. This fixture has seen it all in the past, and it has seen it again today. Over the wall, might have flicked something on his way through. And Nepal, well and truly, would believe now. Oh my word. What an absolute screamer. India. Can they try and conjure something from here on? Nepal, their tails will be up. And pushes one out into those open spaces towards the far right for Preeti to chase that for Priya. Pyari, beg your pardon. And 64 minutes have been ticked off. And Jana again goes with the long ball forward. You'll have to go as back as 2019 to see an India win against Nepal. And that was in the finals of the SAF Women's Championship. And since then, there's been a couple of draws and a couple of wins in favor of Nepal. And tonight could just be another addition if it stays the way it is at the moment. They came here with a purpose, and they are playing that way. No rush whatsoever. Anjana Rana. It's going to be all about game management. It's a long way to go, but India will have to try and inspire themselves to get one back at the earliest. They've got the firepower on the pitch. They'll have to believe. It's Ratan Bala. Again, going sideways or to the back. Martina. Nirmala. And press from Preeti. Forces Ratan Bala to go sideways. Shilki. Back with Ranjana. Down the line for Karishma. Here's Linda. One-on-one with Sabita. The area was right. Karishma couldn't quite get to the end of the ball. Good to see a decent turnout for this fixture. It's a rivalry that has garnered a lot of attention in recent times, especially after that last game back in Kathmandu 2024. It's played in front of a capacity crowd of nearly 16,000. It's Sabitra Bhandari. Adds 2 more to her tally. Has made the move from Europe to Australia. There's Renuka, who strikes from outside the box. They're not shy away from taking those shots on target. Karishma dropping deep to try and help out the defense. Here's Linda Com. Drops it and makes a move back. Nirmala stepping up, lobs that one in the air. Tangme for Sangeeta. There's Ranjana for Pyari. Renuka intercepts. Linda gets the possession momentarily. Here's Pyari. Anjana Rana makes sure she makes herself absolutely big and latches that onto that one quite comfortably in the end. I'm not quite sure if she was going for the target or a cut back towards the arriving blue shirts inside the box. "20 more minutes for India to get a repost here." The captain, the coach, would be mightily pleased with the kind of performance the team has showcased, both individually and as a collective unit. Scored goals left, right and centre in the RWL. Sabitra Bhandari has finished top scorer on all the 3 occasions she's played. Has been the champions on those 3 times. Raked up 62 in 24 games. Has made a move to Wellington Phoenix on a 2-year contract. Smartina. Time is running out for India. We'll have to try and dominate the possession for the next 20 minutes. And try and get something out of the box here. And keep themselves on the ball and get the likes of Tangmei, Grace, Pyari and Linda. Stratan Bala. Ranjana. And chips one in the air. Here's Sangeeta. And again, they maintain a pretty tight line. There's Ratan Bala again towards Ranjana Chanu. And again, being forced to go sideways. And the Blue Tigresses. And waiting for their moments to try and break out on the counter are Nepal. The tempo has definitely slowed down a bit. As Renuka for Preeti. Again, goes out of the play for a throw-in. For those of you who have joined in late, this is India versus Nepal, the last fixture. Before I get to that, it's like a card coming out. And get that confirmation of the booking in a bit. So a goal early on in the first half, a goal in the second. Both coming in from Sabitra Bhandari, and that's what separates these two teams at the moment. India has been able to strike the target once. Made the goalkeeper work for that. Other than that effort, nothing substantial has come in the attacking front from the girls in blue. The next goal definitely is going to decide where this game is heading. There have been a few starts and stops in the last couple of minutes. And still a Nepal ball. And yet to make a change. Nabeen Yopane. Nirmala. For Sangeeta, outnumbered in the center of the park. Here's Preeti, finds Sabita again. Rekha making that run. And flicks Ranjana Chanu on his way through and goes behind for another corner. Deepa Shahi. What a comeback this has been for the number 23. Targets the near post. Well, that wasn't a million miles away. That was guided goalwards and just the direction that led it down. Karishma dropping in deep to try and create something for herself. Nirmala again with a long ball. And that has been a favorite route of operation so far, especially considering the second half. And Preeti. That's a brilliant ball. Rekha Paurel does well to get to the end of it. Has got help inside the box. Sabitra Bhandari calling for it. And out comes Panthoi Chanu. They're breaking at will at the moment are Nepal. There's Sabita again. It's been... Here's Rekha. Space in front. Rekha curls that one. And goes wide of the target. Had a little bit of time on that one. Could have taken a fraction of a second before she unleashed herself. A couple of changes for the girls in red. Deepa Shahi is going to go out and she makes way for Rashmi Kumari. And still waiting for the substitutes to be sorted out by the touchline. And Meena Debu comes in.
Second substitution for Nepal, jersey number 23, Deepa Shahi being replaced by jersey number 10, Rashmi Kumari.
All right, Rashmi Kumari and Meena, the two players in. It's been quite a shift for Deepa Shahi. Zowden cheered for Hera and Deepa, both getting injured in that same game against Bhutan last year. Both finding themselves spot. Brings it back to safety. Nepal really enjoying it at the moment. 10-11 minutes to play in the regulation time. Here's Preeti. Spreads it towards her left. Sabita swapped out places with Meena. Karishma does well to keep the possession. Linda gets dropped off the ball. Trying to backtrack. Here's Sabitra Bhandari now. Shilki Devi under pressure. Sabitra with a cross. A touchdown towards Meena. Lets it fly. It makes the goalkeeper work on that occasion, did Sabita Rana. Those shots will keep coming from weird angles now with Nepal in front. Ranjana. Karishma back with Ranjana. It's Martina. Ratan Bala. She goes down on the ground and gets herself a free kick there. It's a tough challenge on Nirmala Devi. Gets India a free kick. Can they try and manufacture something out of this? Long ball. Karishma gets one back. Has the flag stayed down? It has. Just when the clock was getting cruel and the nerves were jangling, a needless free kick conceded. Nirmala with a long ball forward. Is that a sign of a comeback here? A bit of a respite. Still a long, long way away. With just 9 minutes. Pyari can definitely sense a bit of a spring in the stride of the Blue Tigresses here. Ranjana, a long ball pushed forward again. And this is going to be a very exciting finish to the contest. Play on, says the ref. Sangeeta. Spread wide towards the left here. Sabitra Bhandrari has got help arriving and existing inside the box. Pyari takes it, lets it drop and lets it fly. Flicked on by Karishma. Linda is giving it a chase. Anjana to the rescue, just knocks it out of the play area. It's going to be India ball now. And the game has come back to life. After that goal went in from Karishma Purushottam. Linda hustling for it. Karishma takes it down. Pooja gives the ball away. Here's Karishma again with some sort of a space in front. Gets the cross in. And Pooja is there to retrieve it. Preeti Rai looks up and gets herself a free kick for that challenge drawn in from Sangeeta Basfor. A couple of changes. Nirmala goes out. Well, that is her contribution. Bounced right in front. Linda engaging with Bimla. And then the rest was done by Karishma. Alisha Bibina Devi is going to come on.
Substitution for Team India, just number 3. Panjab Nirmala being replaced by just number 21, Kiran Divisa.
Kiran Pizda is out there.
Just number 11, Adamai Grace from India being replaced by just number 8, Yujanana.
Julan, one of the 3 players to get added on to the squad from the under-17 triumph earlier this month. Julan Nongmathem And what a time to be thrown into the middle. And chasing the game, trailing by a goal. And desperate effort to win the ball back, and they do eventually. Here's Julan. Good couple of first touches for Julan. And again over that back line, Panthoi Chanu. Hoist that one in the air again. Preeti. Here's Meena. Was allowed to march forward. Meena, Sabitra knocks it back towards Renuka. Taken away by India. Here's Pyari Khakha. And I guess nicked off the ball again. Julan. Player is down in a red shirt there, but India will continue the move. And that has allowed time for Pooja to just knock it out. Let Renuka. I believe it's Renuka who's down on the turf. 3 minutes is what we are left with. And 3 minutes for India to respond. It's been a good game played with a lot of intensity. It was the brilliance. It's been the brilliance of Sabitra Bhandari. Back on her feet and gingerly making her way out of the play field. Let's put in a proper shift. Renuka Nagarkote. It's Preeti. Karishma couldn't quite hold on to the ball. Here's Linda Com. Desperate effort, twisting, turning, rambling. It looks like the last touch came off Ranjana Chanu's feet. Last 90 seconds. Plus the stoppages. Thrust it forward is Ratan Bala. He knocks it towards the side and lets it fly. And Pyari Khakha couldn't quite manage to get to the end of it. How many minutes will be added on the injury time? Ratan Bala and had the option to go left. Was marching all by herself. Card comes out for Bimla. That's going to be a free kick for India. Do they have one clean strike in them? One good setup. And try and get this game back to parity. 6 minutes have been added on. And it's going to be long 6 minutes if you are Nepal. Here goes Ratan Bala. Strikes, takes a deflection. And goalkeeper, with all her alertness, grabs hold of it. And the crowd has been involved right throughout this fixture. There's been a lot of talks, a lot of hype about the rivalry. And surely the game has lived up to expectations. Yes, Sabit Rabandari looking for a hat-trick. Preeti Rai. Again, beautiful control. Sabita fetches that down the left. Gets one inside. Sabitra couldn't quite catch that one clean.
There will be 6 minutes of added time in the second half.
Kansa Chaisnit has had a good game. She had a few decisions to make. And she's been right on money. Miss Preeti has been a live wire in the middle of the pitch, especially with her distributions. The ball control has always picked out the right pass more often than not. Gets a flick on here. That is too close to Samiksha. Shilki. Ranjana down the line for Julan. Didn't give the possession away. And it's all about the game management for Nepal. 3 minutes to go. Just try to run the clock down here, Nepal. Sabita lifting one in. Had the presence of a few red shirts. Allows for a bit of a breather there. I'm not quite sure who's the player going down. And from the free kick, India managed to keep it on target. Crispin Chetri. It's considered this as a stepping stone towards the preparation for next year. Looks like it's Pooja Rana. It's been carried out on a stretcher. And it'll be one happy man, Nabeen Neopane. Just 1 month into the job, and he has produced a result he'll be absolutely proud of. Still a couple of minutes to go. Goes airborne. It's Linda. And Karishma giving it a chase. Pimla following it up. An India ball as we enter the last minute of the added on time. And the flag was up against Karishma. That done, Pooja Rana is back on the pitch. I think she's still feeling for that right leg of hers. Fury with a flick. There's a red shirt behind it. And pushes it forward for Preeti Rai to chase that down. Julan for Ratanbala. Linda. And Sabita is there. Manmaya for Sabita again. The dying embers of this friendly encounter between India and Nepal. Preeti Rai has got an option waiting towards the far right. Meena. Julan gets the ball and gets rob of it. Lets it bounce Savitra Bhandari. India. Desperate effort to try and get towards the other side of the pitch. Gonna have a look at her watch. Pansa Chaishnit. It could be the last action of the evening. Launches that one in the air. Grabs hold of it and quick to send the other side. Julan brings her body in front. Here's Ratanbala, just knocks it forward again. They have been absolutely brilliant. And that's the end of the 90 minutes plus the stoppages, says Pansa Chaisnit. And what a game it was. And Nepal coming out triumphs. And India going down once again to their rivals. The rivalry dominated really long, but in the last few years, it's been Nepal who have enjoyed the bragging rights. They had their noses in front in the first half with an excellent strike from Savitra Bhandari inside 2 minutes. And India did have a shot on target. That was a brilliant save from Anjana Rana. Nothing substantial other than that. But in the second half, Savitra Bhandari again from a set piece, curling one inside with a brilliant finish. And Karishma did bring a lifeline, did bring a lot of hopes to India with a late strike. But on the day, that wasn't enough. And India go down and go winless in this Tri-Nation tournament.
Thank you.
They go to China from here, Indonesia, beg your pardon, from here on. Nepal, all smiles. They are one happy bunch. So that's the full-time scoreline. Nepal to India 1. And that's been my time here in the commentary box. Do join us again for the other games coming from India on FIFA Plus. Until then, it's goodbye from here.